guys probably already figured it out, right? But on this episode of Pugliese Speed Shop, we gotta do some work on the Tundra. So I'm sure you guys are more than familiar with my 2019 Tundra. It's an SR5, has the SX package on it, and we've had to shop a bunch of times, right? We did a bunch of routine maintenance on it. We did a cool air intake. Most recently, me and old Wade put a 3-1 lift on it. Actually, Jay helped out in the back, and then me and old Wade got our asses whipped on the front. Only on the right side, though. The left side was no problem. We put these, I think they're ACP, maybe RCPs. I forget. They don't sponsor me, so I'm not too worried about it. But, yeah, we put these wheels on. They look like factory TRD wheels, but you see they got some offset to them, which we love. We wrapped them in some 35-inch ish, whatever the metric equivalent is of that. Falcon Wild Peak ATs, absolutely love those things. Then we did, what else did we do? We put the new tonneau cover on it. We changed to all LED lights. I feel like we did some other stuff, but I don't know. And been loving it. We got about 5,000 miles on it since we did all that. So she's due for a tire rotation. She also needs brakes, so we're going to knock that out. And while we're in there, we're going to take a look at everything that we worked on last time. You know, do a little torque check on everything. Just make sure nothing's coming loose or anything like that, because there was a fair amount of work we did there. So we want to check all that. And we still have one little tiny clearance issue. Oh, that's something we did too. We moved the bumper forward an inch, which really stopped most of our problems. At full lock, we still get a little bit of rub right down in here. We're going to try something to fix that, and that should be about it. Then we'll get it back outside and start driving around again. However, you guys see the weather outside, and I just moved a Suburban out there. So I'm going to go over and clean that thing first, because clearly I'm inside here. I can work on this all night. That's not really a problem. So I might get a little, I'm sure you guys won't get confused, but I might get a little confused because I'm kind of filming 2 episodes at once here, and well, we'll see if we can handle that kind of stress, guys. I don't know, but so like if the next time you see me I'm in different clothes, it's just because I got wet doing the other one, and I don't know. I don't think you really care that much. I'm gonna stop babbling, go work on that one, and when you come back, or when I come back, you guys will also be back. And, well, we'll get to work on this. So before we go taking anything apart, I mentioned that we had a little tire issue, like it rubbed a little bit right in there. That's it. So when we first did the lift and everything, it also rubbed, like, right in here. We put that kit on, I did on a tech tip, and it moved the bumper forward an inch or half an inch. I don't know how the kid correct me. But, barely, right? This used to line up like dead on, and if I didn't tell you, you wouldn't know. So it fixed the problem. It was just kissing down here. It was noisy and annoying, but it didn't really do any damage or nothing. Just, I think I might have left a little rub mark. Let's see. Did I break this? No, we're good. There's a tiny little rub mark there. No big deal. Like I said, we could have been lazy, guys, and just kind of hacked it up, right? And just ripped all this out. Would have been fine. And honestly, we could do the same right here. We could take this whole mud flap and stuff off, because clearly it's not really doing its job anymore. But if I did that, this all right in there would be wide open. mud, debris, water, snow, salt, whatever crap they put on the roads would be in there, and then we'd have like a nice big hole in this region right here after a couple of years. We don't want that. So what we can do after we scratch the paint is just move this back. Just look, touching, not touching, touching, not touching. So what I'm gonna do is put a heat gun on that, get that a little warm, and then it's just plastic. Let it reform a little bit, just maybe shrink a little bit, whatever it's got to do to no longer do that, and then this whole problem will be taken care of. There's a common misconception. A lot of people think like, oh, just put more lift on it. Well, that's not going to really fix that. It wouldn't have fixed the front either, and then it looks ridiculous, and it gets top heavy, and everything in moderation, guys. You still, even though it's lifted, it's whatever, you still want the wheel wells to kind of be proportional. All right, you don't want to just it's not a monster truck. You don't want to think you're sitting on top of everything. So when you guys are doing this kind of stuff, think about that. Think about the tires round, so you don't just need room here. You need some room here, and then some back in there. So it's something that's kind of overlooked. Figured that's worth mentioning. This should go without saying, but I'm pretty sure you could figure out which is the new ones and which is the old ones, right? Obviously, this is the old ones. This little guy here is your squealer. It's what rubs on your rotor to tell you, hey, dude, change your brakes. And guys, we were almost there. But I ain't mad about that. These are the original brakes, and this guy right here has 88,000 miles on it. So one of two things. Either they're making brake pads a lot better than they did when I was in high school, or I guess I'm driving less of an asshole. I mean, that's the only two options, right? All right, guys, so these brakes are a little bit different than your normal calipers or whatnot. So we finished the left side. And before we tear the right apart, I want to show you what's different. It's not hard, it's just different, right? So I've already taken these giant channel locks right here and squeezed these a little bit so I can get a little bit of movement, right? Then you got a clip, maybe not block the light, clip right here, right? You can just do it with your hand, really. Take that out. All right, that's done. And then just a pin here, and I mean seriously, this slides right out. Then you got this guy. It's a little tougher because this pin, but that clip, I mean. All right, take that out. Take that out, and then this little fella. You got to pay attention to how this goes in here. All right. So you should pay attention a lot. Because also part of the reason the other side's still apart, I'm not 100% sure what side the squealer was on. So I want to double check over here. And I put it on the inside because I feel that's where it should go. Usually the inside pad wears faster. And, it looks like I did it right. Dope. Man, those things are thin. I really wore these. Yep, there's a squealer right there. So, down it goes on the bottom, inboard side there, which, like I said, these pads usually wear out faster. Not the case if you look at this. Let's check this out. Put it on the bench over here real quick. Because, all right. This is, there's a squealer. That's the inboard. This is the outboard. Yeah, so that's not the case on that side, but over here, this one's the other side. This one, the squealer side was a little bit thinner. So I guess it all just depends on how it wears. It's truck. You don't know what, it's going to wear, how it's going to wear. So now we'll just compress these guys. Now every video I saw, because I watched a few, shows you to pull the caliper off. So first you got to pull this bolt off, because this here is a hard line. And these things are like 100 and something foot-pounds. And that comes off, and then you got to squeeze these together, guys. What I did is use the old pads and had them just hang out a little bit. And I got the C-clamp here and here, and I put them in that way. This way I didn't have to take it all apart, because I'm lazy. But so I'm going to spray this all down with brake clean it all off, and do the same thing I did before. There you have it, guys. New pads are in there. And so if you need to change this rotor, obviously you need to pull the caliper off. That just kind of goes without saying. Or at least it should. But yeah, you don't need to do it to just change the pads. It's a little tricky to kind of get it opened up, but not impossible. And the other side was a little tougher. Kind of figured it out. So this side was just, you know how it goes. Second side's always easier, right? We found that out when we did the lift over here. This one was way tougher than the other side. So now we got to put that hardware on. It came with all new stuff, guys. So that's you don't got to clean up that other crap. We pins and clips. So we you see how nicely I take care of my stuff. So we put a little bit of that stuff right there on the back of the pads. Obviously not on the front. You don't want them touching the rotor. Back here it says, they'll move a little bit and not squeal. So we're going to specifically, you can kind of see, well, maybe you can't. Maybe I can pull it out a little bit for you. See what we got. No, that's kind of wedged in there. Anyways, around this hole right here, we put a little extra. We're going to put a nice little film over the pin there, so everything just. Well, guys, we got a little film of the old synthetic brake component lubricant on there, and we used our alignment tool right there, also known as an awl, to line these up here. So we should just oh, look at that, like butter, and there you go. We did not. Where's the other one? Did we do the other one? Not yet. We got to do that. Hold, please. So I was going to bring you guys back for the installation of the second pin after I lubed her up a little bit, but I then realized there was no way I was getting that clip and that clip in with one hand. It's not hard. You just kind of need two hands, guys. That's all. So that's all done. All installed, new hardware, all that. It's nice they give you the new hardware because this is how the other stuff comes out. Obviously, got some corrosion and grime and whatnot. They're over 5 years old, so everything's moving around nice now. So should be all set. I guess now is the perfect time to see if my heat gun trick works. But find out. Well, guys, I did the left side first, and you see it's we heated it up, kind of shrunk it. And now instead of having that hard line, it's kind of rounded, and actually brought it back a little bit back there. I think we're gonna have plenty of room, but I'm gonna do the other side now, and I'll show you how I did it. Show you a comparison here of where we started, and go from there. So you see, you got that hard, and that's what the problem is. So once we kind of just take this off and roll it, we should be all set. See that hard line that's already going away. Once I get it nice and warm, I'll push it back. I'm not going to use my hand, obviously, because it's going to be a little bit warm. But just making that line go away, it kind of shrinks it in. It's probably all we need. But just for good measure, I'm going to take the old Wonder Boy here and just hold it back a little bit. Obviously, I don't want to use something metal because that'll also generate heat. And I don't think that this bat's going to light on fire. I don't think it's real wood, so yeah, it'll be fine. I say that because we were fine on the other side, so we've got to be fine on this side. All right, I think it's getting good and warm here. I'm going to put you guys down and put this into place. All right, well, there you have it, guys. Remember before this came out, right? Past here. And no more. And it really doesn't look, I mean, it doesn't look as crisp and as nice as this did, but the tire's there. Who's going to see it? I'm happy with it. I'll stop hearing that annoying noise when I back out of a parking spot, because, like, you know, for that 4 seconds, I'm on edge, guys. But seriously, quick, easy fix rather than just butchering it up like some people actually mentioned I should do. So I think this is the way to go. All right, guys, we're moving on to the back brakes, and pretty uneventful. You know, just your basic disc brake setup. We've already done this. See, we got the new pads in there. Cleaned everything up. This side's all done. We're about to knock out the driver's side. You see, we got it broken down, cleaned up, let everything dry nice. And I was going to show you this because, let me tell you, significantly less wear on the backs. We talked about it with the Caddy, how it didn't have back brakes for a while. It wasn't really a big deal. You saw the other ones, right? I mean, look, guys, not a whole lot of difference. I mean, 88,000 miles, right? So we're changing them because I've got them. We're already in there, and why not? But if we weren't doing the front, which clearly did need to be changed, we wouldn't have worried about this. So, get all these clips and all this stuff. I'm going to go ahead and build up the new pads with the new clips. Get the everything lubed up real nice. And by then, that should be dry, and we can slap her back together. While we're at it, we went ahead and scoured the old parts shelf over there and stumbled upon some wipers that I almost forgot I bought for this truck, which is good because, yeah, we were due. And then just figured, grab some of the old spray away there with the incorporation of the dining room chair. We decided to scrub all the pollen and God knows what else off of the windshield of this thing, because guys, you don't want to put brand new windshield wipers on a busted windshield.
Look how cockeyed he looks, Pepper. He's got fucking brand new windshield wipers for a busted windshield.
Well, the boy does have good hands.
Good hands. Bad taste in cars. You know, Pepper, you can't polish a turd.
So I mentioned in the beginning of this video that while we're doing the work, we're going to be going over, looking at everything we did, like when we did the lift and all that kind of stuff, just because it's been about 5,000 miles, and I checked it at like 1,000 miles, and everything was still plenty tight, and everything's exactly where we put it. All the torques are dead on. You know, all the lock washes are still locked, and cotter pins are still in, all that kind of stuff, you know. But there was one thing that bothered me, and this connector right here, it's for like the analog brakes. It has, like, this clips in, right? It's like a regular connector there. And when I first put this on, I tried to clip that in and put this on over it, and I screwed it up terribly. So, like, this wire, which you can see is like not in the sheathing here, was kind of sticking out, and I didn't like that. Old Wade did the other side, and perfect. So I noticed the difference. I kind of forgot all about it, so I took this thing apart, which I'm kind of regretting now. But I think I got it figured out. and I'm going to see if I can make my side look as good as his side. All right, guys, so I learned two things. Number one, yes, I can make it look just as good as old Wade. So luckily he motivated me to do that. The second thing I learned was it'd probably be a lot easier with like a giant tire in the way. But it's done, so we'll go ahead and click it in and call it good. Yo, so we're running out of parts, right? We fixed that connector. We got the wipers on. Brakes were all done. Tires rotated. Last but not least, I feel I've done more than enough advertising for these guys. Bought the truck off of them. Bought 2 vehicles off of them. But 5 years I've had this on the back. This used to actually, I think the lettering was red, so it kind of looked okay with the truck. But we're all done with that. We're going to go with something I think fits a little bit better. You know, it's patriotic, but it's, you know, blacked out, kind of subtle, you know. Oh man. I can't believe that. Yeah, I definitely think that looks a lot better. I mean, you know, it's subtle, right? And it kind of, you know, fits the motif of the truck. And I thought this was cool too. It's, you know, it's rubber, so I guess it won't rattle or whatever. I mean, not that I'd hear it back here anyways, but new product. And it was actually like a small company, so I'll have the kid put a link up for it because, you know, you got to support the little guy, right? And it's definitely better than advertising for somebody that's not even paying me, right? And this whole thing, guys, you know, those guys on the marketplace, forget about it. They drive me bananas with that, you know? So I got to make fun of them whenever I can. So I might have misspoke before. I said last but not least. Not true. The last thing, you got to do 2 things. We got to reset the maintenance thing, right? Where's that at? That's not annoying at all. So, is this guy? No, this guy? This guy. We'll figure it out, guys. It's got to be here somewhere. It's got to be here somewhere. There it is. Vehicle settings. Maintenance reset. And, yeah, let's go ahead and do that. That's complete. And then, guys, we changed the brakes. Gotta give her a couple pumps here because she's gonna go right to the floor. Yep, sure enough. Let them get all set back up, right? Oh, there we go. We're locking it up. We're locking them up. We're good. We got good pedal. All right, yeah. So that's good. And then let's make sure that our little modification worked in the old wheel well here. Grab the light because, you know, we need that. And let's say she's still touching it a little bit. No, there's light in there, guys. See it? There's light in there. Should be good. Well, obviously we'll know. If I hear the noise, then we'll heat her up and push her back a little bit more. But I think she's going to be all right. Okay, I might have misspoken again. One more thing I want to check is I want to just double check, make sure that the brake fluid's legit. Because it wasn't before. You see it's sitting right there at max. So we good. So guys, the reason I wanted to check the brake fluid is because that's what gave me the indication that I needed brakes. I was doing oil change and looking at all the other fluids, topping everything off, and there was the brake fluid was low. So, it was your first instinct was like, okay, I'll top it off. I got some in the back. Don't do that with brake fluid, guys. So that's a closed system, right? And so if your brake fluid's low, one or two things. Either one, you got a leak, stop driving and fix it right now, guys. Brakes, don't mess around with that stuff. Or, in my case, My pads had gotten so low that the pistons were further extended than calipers. Therefore, that was that void was filled with fluid, made my reservoir low. So it wasn't throwing a caution or nothing like that, but obviously the pads you saw they needed change. So the fronts for sure needed change. So that was it's a good rule of thumb. Don't add brake fluid. If you notice it's low, take a look at the pads, and that saved us here, right? Didn't because you guys saw I was dangerously close to hitting a squealer, and I could have done damage to the rotors. It would have cost more money, and so on and so forth, right? But luckily we caught it in time. We're all good. We're going to throw it back in the hunt, back to daily driving, and we can get some of the old guys in here. But you got to take care of new cars too, guys. You can't just, as much as I'd love to just mess with all the old stuff, you got to take care of the new guys. This way they can bail us out when the old ones let us down, because it happens, right? It's just one of those things. And honestly, since I did all this work to this thing, I absolutely love driving it. It's just like what Andrew say. He saw me, like he was going to work and I was coming home and we crossing the road and he said, "You know what, Dad, that actually looks like your truck now because I made it mine." So that, like we're always saying, right? If you want to have the coolest thing in the parking lot, you better be ready to put in some work. And there's many times that thing's been the coolest thing in the parking lot, especially since we made it look the way she's looking now. So you don't just got to have old stuff that's stands out in a crowd. You can do it with the new stuff. But we're gonna get this guy out of here, get the old stuff back in, because as usual, guys, we got work to do. So till next time, like, share, subscribe, ring the bell, tell a friend, and as always, thanks for watching, guys.